Hello and welcome to our new initiative of Gold Tide IAS Academy. So without wasting any time, let's get started. But before that, you can also pause your video after every such question, and you can also post your score below in comment box, right? So let we started. Our question number 1, consider the following statement. First, around 90% groundwater extraction in India is primarily for drinking, domestic as well as industrial use. Second, exporting more quantity of oilseed and importing rice and wheat can help country to balance their increasing water demand. Third, currently agriculture sector is exempted from obtaining non-objectional certificate for groundwater extraction. So here we will have to find out which of the above statement is our correct one. So as I told you yesterday, we have to be vigilant in statement which are provided with a number. So here as you can see, statement number 1 is provided with a number, that is 90%. Hence we have to be vigilant while opting our final option. So let we have a look into our explanation. So before that, we all know that we found water on earth in two form. First one is that surface water, second is groundwater. So whatever amount of water being stored in the glacier and ocean is known as a surface water, whereas total amount of out of total precipitation 10 or 20% of water being stored in our aquifer of crust, that is known as a groundwater, right? Now let we have a look into our explanation. So as you can see, out of total groundwater extraction, 90% of it we use only for irrigation sector, and rest of 10% we use for drinking, domestic as well as industrial use, right? Hence we can say that our first option is incorrect. Second statement is correct one. Before that, let we have a understand what is a water intensive crop. So water intensive crop are those crop which require large amount of water to produce it, right? For example, rice and sugarcane, whereas oilseed, pulse, millet are those crop which require less amount of water. Hence we can conclude that if we export our oilseed and if we import rice and wheat, then we can correct our water imbalance, right? Hence our second statement is correct one. Third statement is factual one, because in agriculture sector we does not require non-objectional certificate for groundwater extraction. Hence third statement is correct one. So we can say our final answer will be C, that is 2 and 3 only, right? Now let we have a look into our question number 2. Question 2, consider the following statement. First, use of copper in energy system help reduce carbon dioxide emission. Second, copper can also be recycled completely many times over without any loss in performance. Third, hot magnetic fluid inside mantle consists of copper. So here we will have to find out which of the above statement is our correct one. Before we jump into our explanation, we have to understand concept first. Here we need to understand three concepts: what is conductor, what is electric conductor, and what is resistance, right? So let we have a look into it. So what is a conductor? So conductor is a material or medium which transfer electricity or object from place 1 to the place B, right? Let me understand it by simple example. As you can see in the picture, our ambulance is carrying patient from place A to place B. Hence our ambulance is carrier. We can also say our ambulance is a conductor, right? Now consider that our ambulance is carrying electricity instead of patient, then our ambulance will become electric conductor. And as you can also see in the picture that there is a no traffic jam or resistance on the way of ambulance. Hence ambulance will transmit electricity from place A to place B in a less time by consuming the less amount of fuel and by emitting less amount of carbon dioxide, right? And same concept are applicable for conductor. So conductor are those material which have less resistance. Because of they have less resistance, they produce less amount of carbon dioxide, and they are efficiently transfer electricity from place A to place B. And because of they have less resistance, we can recycle them many times without any loss in productivity. An example of this kind of conductor are silicon, copper and aluminium. And our third statement is factual one, right? Because hot magnetic fluid inside mantle has a copper. Hence we can say that our final answer will be D, that is all statements are correct one, right? Now let me have a look into question number 3. So question number 3, consider the following statement. So on a one side we have been given place in a news, and on a second side we have been given location. So let we have a look into it. So first, Lake Turkana, which is located in Sudan. Second, Aral Sea, that is located between Tajikistan and Kazakhstan. So which of the above statement is our correct one, right? So let we study map first. So as you can see in the map, Lake Turkana is located in Kenya, hence our first statement is incorrect. Second statement, Aral Sea is located between Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, right? Hence our second statement is also incorrect. Hence we can say our final answer will be D, that is neither one nor one. Hence we can say neither of pair are correctly matched. Now question number 4. Question number 4. Which of the following expenditure are charged on Consolidation Fund of India? First, salary and pension of Judge of High Court and Supreme Court. Second, salary, allowance and pension for President. Third, salary and pension of Speaker and Deputy Speaker of House of People. Fourth, interest and other debt related charge of government. So here we will have to find out which of the above code are correct one. So except one, all of the above code are correct one. First statement is incorrect. Why? Because salary and pension of Judge of Supreme Court are charged on Consolidation Fund of India. In similar manner, pension of Judge of High Court are charged on Consolidation Fund of India. But salary of Judge of High Court are charged on Consolidation Fund of respective state government, right? Hence, our final answer will be C, that is 2, 3 and 4 only. Now, let we have a look into question number 5. So question number 5, consider the following statement. First, an amendment to Constitution of India can be initiated by introduction of bill in Lok Sabha only. Second, if such an amendment seek to make a change in the federal structure of Constitution, the amendment also required to be ratified by legislature of 1/3 of state of India. So as you can see in the statement number 5, here we have to find out which of the above statement is are correct. And as you can see in the statement number 1, we have been given with a extreme word, that is only. So we have to be vigilant in statement number 1. Now let we have a look into our explanation. So our final answer will be D. Why? Because an amendment of Constitution can be initiated by introduction of bill in either House of Parliament, right? And not only in the Lok Sabha. Hence our first statement is incorrect. And second statement, if the bill seek to amend federal provision of Constitution, it must also be ratified by legislature of half of the state by simple majority, right? Hence our second statement is also incorrect, because we have been given with a 1/3 of state of India, which is incorrect. Hence our final answer, that is D, neither 1 and 2. So here we are completing our today's test, and you can also solve rest of 5 questions by clicking link below in description, right? So see you soon. Thank you so much.